happening, everybody? Welcome to my Thursday Q&A. Every Thursday I make these videos where I answer your questions, so drop them in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer everybody's questions next week. If you want your question answered on a Q&A video, make sure that you leave it in the comment section of the very newest one. You can find all my Q&A videos in my Q&A playlist. So let's get started here. Eric Steed says, have you ever considered getting a drone for your vlogs? Absolutely. The next step is to get a new camera for several reasons, and then after that, the next big investment in the channel is definitely a drone. That would take my vlogs to the next level, and just the creative freedom would be amazing. Plus, I'd be able to use that for the real estate photography. The FFA just changed their laws, so I will actually be able to do that without having to have a pilot's license. How to for you says, when on the road, how many hours do you feel comfortable driving in a day? Do you prefer day or night driving? 3 to 5 hours, and I like to take a stop like every hour or so, just to rest and look around and check stuff out. Any more than that, it just gets kind of, I don't know, you kind of get in the zone and it stops being fun. So try to keep it to 3 or 5. Sometimes I push it though. John Gagnon says, what temperature environment limits do you set for yourself, if any, when choosing your next destination? I read a post from another nomadic traveler that says he never stays at sea level during the summer, which I thought was interesting. That is interesting. I try to keep it around 70 to 85 degrees during the day. And I don't like going below like 40 at night. That's pretty much it. That sea level thing's interesting though. I never thought about it like that. Obviously north and higher elevations are cooler than low, so yeah. But I guess if you're at sea level in like Portland, Maine, or Seattle or something, you're probably doing all right. I don't know. I've never been either places in the summer. And your second question is pros and cons of choosing a van compared to a compact trailer. Okay, the compact trailer, I've decided against it, a trailer at all, because 1, fuel economy, 2, finding a place to park, 3, when you're kind of like off-road, like dirt roads and stuff, it might make it a little harder. Your chances of getting stuck are a little higher, and your chances of getting unstuck are a little lower. And also, just, it's so nice to be able to just pull over and hop in the back and climb into bed and go to sleep. And I would miss that a lot. Cornfreak78 says, my dream is to live in either a van or RV, but my lack of finances, and this is in capital letters, always holds me back from that life. I also always wondered how many people that live this lifestyle make an income. Okay, I made a video to address how I make an income, and I made it with David from Vagabond. He changed his name from Vagabond Filmmaker to Vagabond. And in the comment section, a ton of people left a ton of really, really good ideas. So make sure you check that video. It's popping up in the card section right now. As far as your lack of finances always holding you back from that life, that's a mindset thing, man. If you put your mind to it, you could find a way. As far as that goes, I suggest you seek out some stories of people who have done it. Try to find some other stuff to fill your mind with empowerment and can-do kind of attitude, and take it from there. Definitely check out Tony Robbins. When I'm feeling stuck and unempowered, I listen to him, and he really motivates me to get back on the grind and start going and figuring stuff out. It's been a long road for me. I'm still not where I want to be yet, but I'm getting closer every single day, and I'm working on it every single day, and that makes me feel good. I'm getting closer and closer and closer to accomplishing my goals. Yeah, definitely listen to him. Look up the story of Oprah, man. Like, find stories of people who have gone from nothing to finding success and fulfillment in their life. That's the kind of stuff that inspires you, that keeps you going and working towards your goals. Don't just give up and say you're always going to be broke and you're never going to be able to get a van or an RV. You gotta find a way to make it happen, and make it happen. You know, even if it's just step by step, just chiseling away, and eventually you'll get there. You gotta believe in yourself, man. You gotta believe in yourself. Patrick Funk says, what do you start first when starting to build solar panels and electric first? I start by gutting it and cleaning it and checking for leaks. But when I'm designing the inside, I definitely take into account, I try to figure out all the different things I want to have in it, which includes, well, in my case, it includes solar and electrical stuff. So I try to incorporate that into the overall build design before I start building. Let's see here. Where are we? Oh, here we are. Robert Phillips, do you feel like places call you, like mountains, oceans, lakes, types of things, or do you just go where the road takes you? I kind of just go where the road takes me. Sometimes I feel like I really want to I really wanted to explore the South, and so I went there, and then I really wanted to see the desert, so I went there, and I really wanted to see New England and figure out what that was about, so I went there. So I kind of just, I've there's just places that I guess they do call me. They're like, oh, I gotta go here and check it out. And every time I do, I end up learning something really important, or something really important happens. So, yeah, I think they do. I'm much more of a forest and desert person, especially forest, than I am ocean and lake. I'm not really a water person. I'm an earth person. PD Expansion says, are you going to Can-Am CamperCon 2 next month? That's the one with Just Incredible, right? On the border of the U.S. and Canada. I'd really like to go to that. Yeah, I might make that happen. Lady Marie says, do you ever reread The Power of Now? No, because I gave my copy away. But I do once. I seem to keep, like, going in the cycle of, like, building up stress and trying to do too much and then realizing and then letting everything go and starting over. And when that happens, I do watch Eckhart Tolle's videos a lot because they just really help me come back down to center. Kaylee Ann Cochran says, I was thinking about, instead of tinting windows, doing more of a two-way mirror thing. Interesting. Also, I had a great idea of putting 2 fans in, one for intake and one to push air out to get good airflow. That way I would not have to put holes in the floor. What do you think? I don't know what you mean by the two-way mirror thing. That sounds really interesting, though. I'd like to hear more about that. And as far as the 2 fans thing, Will Burson did that. You'll have to ask him or find some of his videos where he talks about it and see what he thought. I don't like the hole in the floor idea. There's exhaust down there. There's waters down there. There's spiders down there. Not doing it. I think it's a cool theory, but I don't. The risks are too high for me. Yeah, I think the 2 fan thing could work if you're in a super hot environment. Like Will Burson's from South Florida, so he needs that. But if you're snowbirding it, I think that just cracking the windows and having 1 fan is more than enough. You know, when you have just a little bit of airflow, like a hose, you have the hose on full and you're holding it, and the water just kind of spurts out. But you put your finger on it, and it like flies out like crazy. It increases the speed of it like tremendously because it's got a smaller hole it's got to go through. So I think about it like that with the windows. You crack the windows just like, you know, a little bit, and it increases the speed that the air is coming through because it increases like the pressure or something. I don't know the technical physics terms for this. It just makes sense that way. Lloyd Brooks says, the security question last week made me think of this. Do you or can you insure the belongings in your van in case they get stolen or go up in a blaze of glory? Absolutely, yeah. And not through your, there's like 3 insurance companies that'll do it. Once again, Will Burson has a really, really good video on this. He did a lot of research, and yeah, look for that video because he did an amazing job, and he gives you all the information that he found out, and he really did a great job of finding out all this information. Julcia, and thank you so much for helping me with the pronunciation on your name there. Did you ever live in NorCal? No, but I was born in the Bay Area and lived there until kindergarten age. What is that, like 9 or 10 or something? I've never lived in Northern California. I do love it there, especially the redwoods. People are really laid back and cool. The weather's good. Well, it's very Oregon weather, but yeah, it's just kind of Southern Cascades. Yeah, I love Northern California, but I have not lived there. Gerardo Aguilar 100 says, have you ever read Walden on Wheels by Ken Ilgunas? I think that's how you say that. If so, what are your thoughts? I have not. I've actually not heard of it. I wonder if the channel Women's Walden is a spin-off of that. You guys should check out that channel, by the way. She's really cool. Yeah, no, I've never even heard of it. Mr. Camera Dude says, what do you do for temperature controlling heat and cooling? Okay, for heat, I have a video on that. Card section. check out that video out. For cooling, roof fan, parking in the shade, parking with the front away from the sun because the front heats up really way faster than the back because the back's much more insulated, and kind of staying out of really hot places. Next question is from Mitchell Haynes, and it is, hey man, what are your thoughts on low top versus high top van? Oh, I just moved everything. Oh no, where'd it go? Oh, here we go. Yeah, what are your thoughts on low top versus high top van? Does the low headroom restrict many daily tasks? Absolutely. I would love to have a high top. I would absolutely love it. In fact, if the Astro was a high top, it could totally work awesomely. The only thing is I'd really like to have a stand-up shower. And for 2 people, once my girlfriend joins me, it's going to be really nice to have more room. So definitely a high top. Look into box fans, man. I hung out with Dream Side Out the other day and did a tour of his van. He's got a box fan, an old U-Haul truck. It's amazing. It's like this perfect square platform to build in. You can stand up. Oh, it's got a huge back door that opens up, so you have like you can park against like on a cliff or something overlooking the ocean. It's amazing. Box fan, yeah, high top, definitely. Edward Ching says, since removing the section of support rib from your roof to install the larger roof vent, do you feel like there's any structural or noise issues as a result? Slightly. I would think that the vent adds some strength and rigidity, absolutely. Being bonded and screwed to the roof. Just wondering if you had any thoughts. I may do the same on my Astro. Thanks. Yeah, adding the roof fan back in there definitely added the strength back to it, but the third brake light up there, it sits a little higher now, so I definitely have to seal that up because there is a hole in it that the wiring goes through. I would do it a little more on the inside. On my build, the bed's in the back and the cooking is going to be done right here, so, well, at least when it's raining, so it'd be nice to have the fan right here so it can pull out the cooking fumes really fast. And with it all the way in the back like that, it's really obvious on the outside of the van that there's a roof vent there, and it's really unstealthy. And I really like to have it back in a little bit more so that it's kind of hiding inside the roof vents and less obvious. But as far as the strength of noise, no issue. Billy in 4C says, do you have any 12-volt DC appliances in your van, or do you just run everything off the AC inverter? Okay, 12-volt is way more efficient than running the inverter. The inverter itself takes electricity to run, and then it has to kick up and convert everything to 120 versus 12. So I try to do everything on 12-volt. The main thing is my fridge runs on 12-volt all the time. That is awesome. If you can get a 12-volt fridge, I love my Dometic to pieces. Watch my review video on that. Card section once again. It's an amazing fridge. But yeah, I run as much as possible off 12-volt. The lights, the fans, pretty much just charge my laptop and camera batteries off of the inverter. Oh, my new shower is going to be 12-volt too. I'll have a video on this thing, guys. This is so killer. I'll have a video on this soon. I got the perfect, like, low-cost shower solution for camping, at least. E.T., ooh, I like that name, says, do you know how long you're going to be gone for before you leave on your adventures? Also, what are some places that you haven't been before that you're planning to tackle on your trip? That's hard to, the first part is hard to say because the last time I left on my big, like, year-long run, I had no idea how long I'd be gone. The time before that, I thought I was going to New Orleans and back, but I came back much sooner to switch the motorcycle out for the van. And, like, weekend trips, like, I always know when I'm going to be gone and stuff. But, yeah, it's kind of hard to say. I definitely want to spend more time in Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, pretty much the Rocky Mountains. I need to spend some time there. Mr. Charlie Argo, when you're on the road, what time do you typically park the van for the night? When do you usually move it in the morning? I try to go to sleep at midnight and wake up at 10, and I usually wake up in the middle of the night, and I'm up for like an hour or two. So I ended up with like 8 hours of sleep. It doesn't usually work. It's usually like 2 to like 1, which I wish it wasn't that way, but it is. Just a night owl. So I try to park like an hour before I go to bed or so, and then like half hour after I wake up, 45 minutes or so, I like to lay in bed for a little bit to wake up. It's kind of different every time though. Santi781 says, Have you had a chance to take a look at any of the new light-duty cargo vans on the market? The Nissan NV200 and the Chevy City Express, which is basically identical to the Nissan and Ram branded Fiat cargo van. Would you ever consider using one of these for a stealth van? I wouldn't, because they're too small. They're smaller than the Astra. I've got a buddy that's got the Nissan NV200. I think it's an NV200. And really nice van. Really nice. Great fuel economy. It's incredible on fuel. But it's just too small. The Astra's already small enough. I don't want to go any smaller. But they could totally work. They make a great stealth van. Big Taz says, just wondering who the dude is with you when you do some of your interviews with other van dwellers. That was Corey the Moody Traveler when I was in New Orleans. Check out his channel. He's an awesome dude, and he's got a cool channel. He's got a Toyota Dolphin little mini RV, and he does some amazing vlogs too and other vids. My random vids, that's a cool spelling of that word. Are you familiar with the YouTube channel Infinite Waters Diving Deep? Absolutely, I've been watching him for a few years. He's great. Dave P says, if you buy any van, which would you buy? Box van. R2D2, that just changed. I was all about the ProMaster and the Ford Transit, but no, it's box van now. R2D2 says, I was wondering about the hole for your fuel pump. Did it go out? If so, what are the measurements for the hole? Also, what is the distance between the floor and the top of the gas tank for those of us with Astros scared of drilling into the tank? I can't answer this question anymore because I put my hardwood floors on. I'm sorry, but I don't have access to it anymore. Gas tank was pretty close. Don't use a Sawzall. Use something really small like an angle grinder or something, and be careful. Check out the Astro Safari forum. There's definitely information on there. Sorry I can't help you more. Fantastic Reality, will you look up the Canon T6S and tell me whether you believe it would be the perfect camera for what you are doing, or is there another that fits the bill best for stills and vlogging? I'm curious to know what is the best for this application. That one you can buy for, or the best for this application, that one can buy for less than, say, $1,200 or so. Thanks. Keep on rocking, bro. Right on. Fantastic. T6S versus 70D. Okay, the main difference, which is a huge, massive difference for vlogging, is the autofocus. 70D has the dual pixel autofocus, which is absolutely mind-blowing, incredible. It's the best you can get. T6S does not. It's going to find the focus, and then it's going to come out, and then it's going to go forward, and then it's going to come back to it. It's going to hunt a lot, and it's a lot slower than the dual pixel. So 70D all the way. Researching this question, I've been researching this in cameras for a long time, trying to figure out the perfect next camera. And I also found the Lumix G7 and the Sony A6300. 6300 does not have the flip-out screen or a touch screen, and that's one of the huge benefits of the 70D is you can see your framing, you can see that the lighting is right, you can see that you're in focus, and you can touch for where you want it to focus. That is huge. That would change, that would revolutionize my vlogs. That means that no more having to do several takes because it was out of focus, no more having to guess whether I'm in focus or not all the time, no more having to guess if the lighting's like usable. That would revolutionize my vlogs. So 6300's out, plus it's got terrible battery life, it overheats, and it's got really bad rolling shutter, which is where you turn it too fast and everything kind of like goes like this. The G7, the Lumix, is almost perfect. It's got the flip-out touchscreen. It's got a really small form factor. It's micro four thirds, so it's not as good for stills as the Canon, especially with low light. And it doesn't have as much lens availability as the Canon. That's another huge plus for the Canon. But the autofocus is slow. So it's kind of a cool cinematic, like slowly coming into focus kind of thing. But the Canon is just bam, bam, bam. It's just on, but it's not so fast that it's jarring. It's like just right. You can actually get a refurbished Canon 70D with a 10 to 18 lens, which has image stabilization, which would be so helpful, and a lens hood for $963 on Canon's website right now, and that is perfect. That's what I have to get. That answers all my questions. The only downside to the 70D is this big form factor. It's a really big camera. It's much bigger than the one I have now. But the lens, the 10 to 18, is smaller than the lens I have now, so it's about the same weight. Yeah, 70D all the way. It's the only one. Plus, you can get Magic Lantern and have like all these incredible features that like you can usually only get. Magic Lantern's a software hack that you can get for free, but it gives you access to all these incredible features that are usually only available on cameras that are like $20,000 and stuff. So 70D all the way. That's my next step. I'm really excited about it. I cannot wait to get it. It's gonna make my job so much easier. Mark Peacock, hey man, I dig the videos, especially the travel ones. I see that you're staying with your parents for a while. Do you ever feel like you're freeloading? How do you live this lifestyle having no job without sinking into massive amounts of debt? I do have a job. You're watching it right now. I have a lot of jobs actually that revolve around this job. I stay very busy. As far as massive amounts of debt, I got a little credit card debt, and now my teeth are gonna put me quite a bit farther into that. But my income is constantly growing, and I'm working the haunted house in October, so pretty soon that will be non-existent, except for the student loans. I'm gonna have those for quite a while, I think. And as far as the freeloading part, no. Families help each other out. I'm helping them with stuff around the house. I'm going to be helping a lot more pretty soon here. My mom's getting rid of a ton of stuff, and they need my help with that. And it's nice to spend time with them. I don't feel like freeloading at all. Families help each other, man. Eternal Minimalist, check out Vant padded upholstery panels. I did. Do you think the system would work great for van walls and ceiling? I wouldn't want them because they will make your van look like a padded room, man, like totally like straight, like insane asylum style. Plus they're flat, and the inside of the van is not flat anywhere. Every surface is curving and crazy and ridiculous. So I don't know. Plus they're really expensive. They could work in a box fan, but you might have to deal with that padded room feel. So we're a little over time, but that's all right. James Harris. This is the last question here. It says, I will be traveling 2,000 miles in my van, your home, with 2 other people. However, I value my private temple as I am an introvert. Have you ever done this before? That is, letting friends travel with you for an extended period of time. Do you have any recommendations, such as rules, who gets to drive, privacy, and space? It's always just been me and my dog, and the space is perfect, so for 2 other grown guys will be somewhat overwhelming to me. Van looks great. Namaste. Thanks, man. Yeah, that does sound overwhelming. I have not done that, and I will not do that because that sounds terrible. I would definitely talk to them ahead of time. Tell them, look, man, my personal space and my time alone is super important to me, and I need it to stay functional. Just so you're aware, on this trip, there's going to be every day I need like at least like 3 or 4 hours to myself, completely alone. And yeah, just talk to them ahead of time, explain the situation, be totally upfront. People who are not introverts do not understand introverts. It's total mystery to them. They have no idea, so you have to explain it to them. And they still might not get it, but hopefully they do. This sounds like a really good opportunity for you to learn how to enforce boundaries. But man, it's only 2,000 plus miles at least. Hopefully you can speed it up and switch drivers and get there as quick as you can. Yikes. Best of luck to you, man. Let me know how that goes. So that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Love yourself.